Alright, here we are. We are in the Bat Cave, the lair, Stream HQ. Before we get started on this Trikafta update, I just want to give a quick thank you to Michelle A, aka Young Guck Trash, on Instagram. Because I had to go mail a couple things and I checked my P.O. box while I was at it. And she sent me these two new Funko Pops. I love all the Dragon Ball Pops because I'm obsessed with Dragon Ball. And if you follow this channel, then you know that. But thank you so much for sending me these. You are amazing and I love you. It is time to talk about Trikafta week 3. My CF, it can flare up and be bad, but that's really anybody who has cystic fibrosis. It can flare up at any time, cause some issues, just be a big old pain in the ass. But I still have pretty kind of mild CF. You know, I've been very lucky throughout my life, thanks to like my mom, just how she kind of beat it into my head that I had to do my treatments and everything growing up, that my lungs have stayed rather healthy. Now they have dropped recently, you know, they've dropped into the 50s, but they're not actually in the 50s. And by that, for anyone who doesn't have CF, whenever you have an exacerbations or the weather changes or anything like that happens, it can make your lungs tank. And my lungs are very sensitive to like weather changes or anything like that that happens. So whenever it does happen, it kind of sends me into like a tailspin. And whenever I had the road trip when I was out west for a while and came back here to the East Coast, it really hit my lungs, and that just kind of carried over to my doctor's appointment whenever I blew those crappy numbers. Just from the way that I felt recently when my lungs weren't being angry, pretty sure I'm probably still in like the 70s. They have these at-home spirometry meters that you can basically do your lung functions at home, but they're like 200 bucks, and I really don't want to fork out the money for one. Although it would be very useful and very awesome. But because my CF is on the milder side, and I've always just kind of pushed myself, whenever I get on these medications, like whenever I was on Orkambi or Symdeko, the first modulators, I could tell a difference. Now I could definitely tell a difference like whenever I would hike, whenever I would do things like that, I would be able to tell that they were doing something. I would notice I wasn't as like out of breath or anything like that, but it still wasn't something that was insane, and definitely wasn't something that happened super duper quick. And then Trikafta came out of nowhere and has blindsided me with, I don't even feel like I have CF anymore. Which I do. Please no one watch this and think, oh my god, he's taking the Trikafta, he's cured. No, but let me tell you. So as you guys know, I've been feeling way better since I started the Trikafta. I purged a little bit, but then I just noticed that I had more energy. I was able to breathe better. I wasn't getting out of breath as quick, things like that. Well, it wasn't until last, I believe it was Friday, whenever I was working. And listen to that. And did you hear that? Hold on a second. Before I get into this story, I want y'all to just listen to something. Listen to this. That was me making myself cough, but did you hear how clear that was? That shit, how the sound of my cough right then, that shit doesn't happen with CF. And especially like if I make myself cough super duper hard, it usually leads into more coughing even if I'm faking it or not. So you guys should probably be able to tell just by that cough right then about how crazy this medication is and what it's doing to my body. So our sorter went down, and the sorter does exactly what it says, sorts all the packages, everything going through the facility, so it knows where it's supposed to go. So basically the only thing our facility could do at the time was accept inbound things, trucks and all that stuff. So that's what I was put on. So I was unloading trucks, and basically what that consists of is you have these really, really tall pods, which is what I picked from. And those things range from like 1,100 pounds sometimes, you know, and they come on trucks, and you know, you get the pallet jack and you pull them off, and they're not really that hard, but some of them are heavy, and then you take the empty ones and put them back on the truck. Now that's kind of the easier thing, because while these things are heavy, you have a pallet jack and you're kind of you just pull it, take it in one spot, drop it, and then put the stuff back on the truck. But I started noticing when I was doing that I was pulling these things off the truck, and I was moving fast. Like as soon as one came down, I was back in pulling another one, taking the stuff, loading it on the truck. And I just happened to notice that, first of all, I wasn't sweating that much. And for anyone who knows about CF or CFers watching, you know that we sweat and we get that super like salty sweat, and it doesn't really take a lot for it to happen. and I was noticing none of that. I was also noticing that I wasn't really having to take that many breaks, and I wasn't really out of breath. So while I push myself whenever I do activities, I still feel CF. It's still in my brain, so even though I may look like I'm doing fine, I'm keeping up with the group, I'm hauling ass, CF is always there. I've just kind of learned how to power through it and not acknowledge it. You know, I'll stop if I really have to, but for the most part, I can just haul ass. You know, if I can climb a mountain, I can do manual labor. You know, it's like that. After break, we got moved over to running totes. So our job was to go floor to floor and clear out all the empty totes, send them down so they can be wrapped and then sent back, and then they get refilled up and then sent back to us. But you know, you load like 50 totes onto a pallet, or however many a pallet would fit. But here's the kicker to that. So I was sending totes down, but I was also helping people at the bottom unload totes, and then vice versa, go up and help other people. Here's the thing about that though. They have big service elevators that you put, you know, pallet jacks, totes, anything on, because this warehouse is 4 floors. Now you can put equipment into there. Pallet jacks, totes, what have you. Those can go in the elevator and be sent up or down, whatever. Humans are not allowed to ride in the equipment elevator. That's like immediate ride up, or I think possibly even grounds for firing. So they have an elevator for people, but you know, in a big warehouse that has like 3,300 employees, that can take forever. So basically what you have to do is say you're gonna help people on the bottom floor unload the elevator. You gather up all these totes, put them on pallet jacks. And mind you, 2 of the service elevators were already being used for something else. So we had to take all of our totes all the way to the other side of the warehouse and use the other elevator. So it was me and one other guy. We're hauling shit, we're putting it in the elevator, we're going and going, and after you load like 4 or 5 pallets full of totes in, then you gotta shut the door, you press the button and you send the elevator down, then you gotta run down the steps. So that could be anywhere from running up and down 4 flights of steps, 3 flights, whatever. But man, I wasn't even thinking about it. Like, we were just running, putting them down. I would run down the steps, help them unload, run back up the steps, gather more totes. Other people were having issues because for some reason we got broken up into teams, and my team just consisted of me and this guy I work with, and we're really cool, and so it went by really quick. But all the other floors had like 4 to 5 people, but we got put on like the 2-man team, but we were clearing out floors faster than the bigger teams. So I didn't even notice it until we had cleared 2 entire floors of this facility by ourselves, like done it all. And then it really hit me like a ton of bricks. I just stopped because I noticed that I wasn't out of breath at all. I noticed I never had to take a break. I noticed that running up and down those steps didn't even affect me. And let me tell you, even though my CF may be on the mildish side, stairs are still hell. If you watched any of my videos where I travel, especially where I was at PAX West and we had to go up all those stairs, I about died. Stairs, incline, anything like that where you get breathing heavy, it was just like, man, this sucks. But the other night at work, it didn't even faze me, and I really started thinking about what I was doing, and that was 10 solid hours of that. 10 hours of pulling totes, of running up, running down, all that stuff, and it didn't even faze me. Like, even when I went on break, usually I'm super tired when I sit down for break and I have to like chug a Red Bull or whatever, try to get energy back. I didn't even have any energy drinks that night. I was just brimming with raw, like, normal person energy, at least, or what I would imagine a normal person feels like. Like, anytime I've ever done any physical activity or manual labor or even work out with someone, I just notice how quickly I start to get winded, and I notice them and I kind of watch their breathing and I'm like, man, that must be nice. And now that's me. Like, I'm there. It literally feels like I don't have CF anymore, which I know I do, and I'm still gonna have my bad days. It's not like I'm fixed or anything like that, but it is absolutely mind-blowing, blowing my mind. I just notice little things that are no longer getting to me. Like, even as I'm talking to you guys, as I'm shooting these vlogs, you guys, if you follow my channel, you'll know that I have like breathing patterns and stuff that goes with my speech, so I know when I need to take a breath in, all that kind of stuff. But it's weird because I'll be, like, as I'm talking to you guys right now, you'll probably notice that I kind of talk fast and a lot, and I usually wait, kind of have a pause, breathe in, do it some more. But now, it's like whenever I take that breath in, it really like holds, like, I can just feel like the air just getting in like everywhere. And watch this, That right there is how you do like PFTs, like when you watch me blow in the machine, and usually afterwards I'm coughing my head off. And I was pushing hard right then, and I didn't even get the urge to cough whatsoever. Not out of breath, not sweating, lungs aren't on fire. It's blowing my mind. And this is only week 3. Because like what I was saying before is these modulators, I've felt them work and I've seen them kind of tick up my lung functions a little bit, but it takes a while, and it's nothing that I suddenly notice immediately. It'll be like months down the road. I'll be like, man, that was a little easier than what it was before. This feels like I could literally take on the world. Like, I've been randomly running. Today when I took Ember to get his nails trimmed, like we parked down the street and we ran from the car over to the doggo salon, then we ran back to the car, and I've just been kind of jogging everywhere, like going to get the mail, I run, come back, I run, and I really just like haul ass, and I feel fine. Like, it's just insane how my body is doing right now. And I don't know if this has anything to do with Trikafta or not, but I weighed myself because I noticed my t-shirts are getting rather tight. Like, look at this. It is very form-fitting now, and I'm over 150 pounds. Like, out of nowhere, it was like, oh, hey, hi, hello, you're gonna get big again. And you guys saw like my struggles before with my weight and everything and getting it up. And I don't know if that's just a mix between like the antidepressants that I'm on, because those can kind of make you gain weight, Trikafta, or both, because I've been gaining since I kind of went in and got my head and all of my emotions kind of in check, or as in check as they could be. But nothing like this, especially that I'm working at Amazon. So I've like had my eating schedule has kind of been on track, but also, you know, some days I may oversleep or something like that happens, and I don't get to pack a big meal, and I don't hit my calorie count for the day. I'm still gaining. Like, that's insane. Also, you guys will yell at me for this, but it happens whenever you have any sort of illness. It just happens. Deal with it. The other day, my alarm didn't go off, and I slept. I need to leave my house by 5 o'clock in order to make sure I get to work on time. And that, if I leave at 5 o'clock, that means if there's any like traffic, anything like that, I'll have time to kind of reroute myself and still get to work on time. Well, my alarm didn't go off, and I picked my phone up and I noticed that it was right at 5 o'clock. I had to go. And I have a nebulizer machine and all that in my car, but I started going to work and I was just really behind. I noticed I didn't have any like medication. So I had my machine and all that, but I had ran out of albuterol, hypertonic saline, my stock that I usually kind of keep in a cooler in the car. Didn't have any of that. So I was going into work, into a job that is manual labor, cold turkey, no breathing treatments, like nothing for my lungs. All I had was my albuterol inhaler, and I was like, oh crap, this is going to suck. Because even if I have CF that's on the milder side, when I wake up, if I don't do my treatments, I can't function as a human being. It's like those give me life, and usually when I wake up, the first cough of the day is painful. And that's another thing, like when I wake up, the coughs aren't painful. It's fine, I just wake up and I can go. I went to work, and I worked a full 12-hour shift doing manual labor without breathing treatments and didn't cough once. I wasn't out of breath once. Like, I know it may not seem like a lot, but when most of your life has been spent like struggling to breathe anytime you do any like activities or whatever, but you just kind of learn to push yourself through, when you don't have to push yourself through, it makes so much stuff in your life easier. Like my focus, when I'm at work, I'm just super fast, I'm in the zone, I'm focused on everything, to whereas usually I'm like, even though I know how to push myself through CF, I know how to push myself through the burning lungs and all that, it's still there. It's still something that you feel and focus on, and it kind of takes some of your attention, but I haven't felt any of that. And also, I've had like, I don't know if it's like a sinus infection or maybe a cold because it's the winter month, something kind of going on in my head, that's not even phasing me. So I might be fighting off a sickness and I'm still fine. Like, what is happening? When did I turn into a normal person? So, that's just some of the stuff right off the top of the bat that I could tell you. There's a lot of little intricacies that I'm noticing every day being on Trikafta that I'm like, man, this is different than before. This feels a little different than before. You know, it's just little things. Even like I said, even making these vlogs, like I'm able to just go and talk and be energetic, and that's probably one of the biggest things. Just my energy level is out the roof. When usually I'm the type of person that has to rely on coffee, energy shots, Red Bull, stuff like that to really have to push myself, but not now. Like I'm just overflowing with energy, I don't know. I literally can't put it into words really exactly how I feel, but I just doesn't feel like the last 29 years have felt. My body feels completely different. My body feels normalish. This is probably the most normal or like clear or healthy I've ever felt in my life. I don't know what my lung functions are, but honestly at this point I don't even care what my lung functions are with how good I feel. Like holy shit, you guys. It's just insane the change and how quick it's happened. This is only week 3 of this medication, and it's coming in like, hey CF cells, be ashamed if someone beat the shit out of you. So like, it's just mind-blowing. Like, I have to stop myself, because like I said, that the other night at work when I felt it, I kind of end up getting like emotional, and the thing about Amazon is you gotta be fast, so it's like, oh god, I gotta be fast, and I can shed a tear or two, but I still gotta keep going. So it's just, it's crazy. And you know, like it's crazy is the crazy is the main word that I can use. Crazy is all of this, is how this medication is making me feel, my life now, my quality of life, everything about since I've got on Trikafta is just, yeah, it's just blowing my mind. Like, if you guys could have just lived the past 29 years with how I felt, even when you feel good, you feel bad. You just kind of learn to go through it. You just learn that's your life. You just gotta power through. I'm not having to power through anything now. I just feel good. I just feel like me. I feel like the person that I've always pushed myself to be, but without having to like overextend myself or push myself. So it's just absolutely crazy, and it has changed my life. In just 3 weeks, everything has changed for me, and I'm just kind of mind blown and super stoked for the future and what this medication is, you know, is gonna do. Like I've been getting like 401k and retirement stuff from my job, and I'm like, oh my god, I gotta deal with this stuff now, because feeling like this, god, it feels like I could live forever. Like, feel like this drug might have made me like immortal or something. It's just mind-blowing. That's all I can say. I know I've probably repeated that like 86 times during this whole video, but it's just crazy. It is just crazy. Trikafta is amazing. Vertex are the MVPs of the CF world and the scientists. You guys are amazing. And yeah, that's Trikafta week 3. I know other vloggers kind of put it in like neat little boxes, like this is what's different, this is what's different, but it's so much and so overwhelming, I can't just kind of label it and go. I just have to rant and just kind of tell you guys as it comes, because there's so much I want to tell people. And it sucks because I'll be at work, and whenever me and that guy were clearing out those floors, I just wanted to turn to him and just be like, dude, like, listen to me. But he knows nothing about CF or anything. Like, he knows I have CF, but you know, he doesn't really know about it, so he wouldn't get it. And I'm just constantly, these things are popping into my head that I just want to like grab the person that's like this random citizen and just be like, listen to how good I feel, because they don't understand what it's like for like 29 years to feel a certain way, and you just learn that that's your quality of life, and it's gonna go down, but as your lungs go down, you learn to compensate, and you learn to push yourself harder, even if it's gonna, you know, even if it sucks, even if it hurts, you just learn that is your life, and you become just immune to it. And then to suddenly, after 29 years, feel like this, I'm I don't know what to say. I can't put it into a coherent sentence. I can't put it into some clean, nicely laid out vlog. Maybe on down the road afterwards, but now it's like my body is still changing. Everything is still changing. Life feels brand new to me. Everything about life now feels fresh and brand new. And another little thing, like I have nasal polyps like crazy, and they have kind of made me unable to smell things throughout most of my life. Only random scents I can really get. I've been smelling everything. Like, I can smell flowers now. I've never been able to smell flowers. And so I don't know if they've shrunk or what's happened, if it's just because the mucus isn't so crazy in there, but oh man, it is just crazy. I feel new. I feel reborn. I feel like, I don't know, like I got some sort of cybernetic implant that's made me like the epitome of human perfection or something like that. And shit, how I feel may not even be close to how a normal person feels. But for me, this is as close as it gets, and I am fucking loving it. But that's it, you guys. I gotta get off here. I gotta start meal prepping for work. I gotta get all sorts of stuff together. I'll be posting again for next week for Trikafta week 4. I'll be trying to, like, while I'm at work and just everyday life, I'll be trying to think of what I, like, anything that I'm feeling different. But thank you all so much for watching. I love you. If you like what you watch and you want to keep up on my progress with Trikafta, please subscribe to the channel and like the video, and then hit the little bell, and then you won't miss any notifications moving forward. Life is amazing right now, and that's the first time I think I've truly, I don't even know if I've ever felt like this. Like, I don't, as optimistic and as clear, and like there is no limits, there is no bounds. Like everything, the world seems more vibrant, it seems more colorful, everything kind of has beauty now. And oh god, and it just goes back to, you know, earlier this year, like when I tried to hang myself, everything seemed so bleak, and now it's just like the world has been reset, and I don't know, I'm just grateful. It still has that double-edged sword. I wish so many of my friends could have taken this, but I have to live for them, because there's nothing in my way now. The CF isn't in my way now, and with Trikafta, this isn't even the end of the road. They're gonna come out with even more, banking off this formula until eventually CF is no more. And that is going to be a crazy day. But after taking this medication, after only being on it for 3 weeks, I've always said I doubt they'll be able to cure CF, but after being on this, it's closer than we think, and it's just absolutely amazing. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will see you next week, if not sooner, if I have anything interesting to post before that. I love you all. I'll see you then. Morgan, out of here.